Welcome to the Being Soul Confident podcast with me, your host, Nicola, the podcast where we are talking all things soul, where we're widening the conversation about what soul is so that you can trust it, live it, be it, so that you are being soul confident. So, welcome back to Being Soul Confident. Welcome back to season 2. And I'm going to be really honest, there was never intentionally going to be a season 1 and a season 2. We had a very short break over Christmas, which ended up being an extended break because I was unwell, and then thoughts started percolating, and there was just a desire to really be able to make the podcast into, I suppose, a video cast as well as a podcast. That took me a little bit more time to plan into my schedule. And so we are here now, actually launching season 2. And I'm really delighted to be able to bring it to you from a visual perspective as well. I know some people absolutely love audio and they're really easy to listen to, aren't they, as well? But some people also really love the visuals. And sometimes, you know, when we're having those conversations and when I'm having conversations with guests, we kind of get things when we really see the visuals. So I really wanted to bring this medium to the podcast. And so here we are, the introductory episode for season 2. Really thrilled to have you here. And whether you are listening on a podcast platform or whether you are watching this through the good old platform that is YouTube, welcome. It is wonderful to have you here. Now, if you know me, if you know anything at all about me, you'll know my bag is soul. It's what I'm really passionate about. And the reason that I'm so passionate about it is because when we really access that power and that essence that is intrinsically part of who we are, intrinsically part of everybody, whether you believe in it or not, the fact is it is absolutely part of who you are. When we actually connect into that, we have a deeper level of trust in who we are. We have a deeper level of trust in our ability to navigate life and to navigate all of the situations and circumstances within life. And, you know, sometimes that's the reason why we don't make the choice that is really right for us, is because we don't have the level of self-trust and the level of self-belief to know that whatever happens in that journey, on that path, we can deal with it. And when we are really connected into that energy of soul, there is a level of trust, certainty, and belief within the individual that is absolutely unshakable. And the real genius, power within that is that when you have that level of certainty, that level of belief within you, and it doesn't mean we don't doubt, because that's part of the human experience, but what it means is when we have that question mark, we come back to the level of belief, the level of trust, and the level of certainty. And that is so powerful, because what it actually means is that we start to make choices from a place of love rather than from a place of fear. We start to make choices from a place of possibility, a place of abundance, a place of opportunity, rather than from a place of lack, a place of pessimism, and a place of negativity. My key belief from a soul perspective is that soul is here to actualize through the human experience. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is that powerhouse of soul that is present within each and every one of us doesn't just want to sit inside us gurgling away, giving us a little bit of insight, a little bit of intuition. It wants to expand through every single cell and fiber of our being so that it radiates and emanates from us in a way that touches the world, in a way that touches every single person that we come into contact with. And in order to do that, we have to be able to remove conditioning, change our limiting beliefs, let go of the resistance that we hold within our energy, because all of those things are barriers to that dynamic energy of soul actually flowing totally unbounded through us in the moment. I believe that is the single purpose of soul. The single purpose of soul within every single one of us is to be able to actualize fully through this human experience, through this human body. And if you've followed me or you've listened to season 1 of the podcast, you will know that one of the things that I talk about is the fact that soul doesn't seek safety. And it doesn't seek safety because it knows intrinsically that you are always safe. You're eternal. That divine essence that you are evolves, it goes on, it can't die. Energy doesn't die, it transforms, but it doesn't die. So soul doesn't seek safety in any way, shape, or form. Therefore, when we seek safety, which is what happens when we make choices based through fear, through lack, through seeking safety, over seeking expansion and opportunity and possibility, we directly inhibit that energy of soul. So when we look at how do we actualize soul through the human experience, we do it by peeling back all of the layers. We do it by enabling ourselves to be as fully, freely us as we possibly can be, to share ourselves in a way that is our most truthful, authentic version in that moment, recognizing that we always evolve. And soul is an expansive energy. It seeks to actualize through you. It seeks to expand through you. And it can only expand if you seek expansion. So as we move into season 2, of course, we're going to be talking about people's journeys, people's experiences of soul, because that is what helps everyone understand their experiences of soul. You know, you might be having an experience that feels strange to you, that, you know, you might not know exactly what it was and what it is. And hearing somebody else talk about their experience can just help you to realize, that's what that experience is. I have that feeling, I have that sensation. Actually, maybe that is soul. Maybe I am experiencing its energy, and I know that now. So that's some of the things that we're going to be talking about, as we did in season 1. But I guess one of the other things that I also want to look at in season 2, and is actually how we start to change the narrative. And by that, what I mean is how we really start to live and take something that is inherently energetic. If you know my backstory, you will know that I experience soul very tangibly, which is why I know that it's housed in the physical body, because I had a really tangible physical experience with that. But if you haven't, if you are coming to, I guess, the spiritual element, you are beginning to explore your spiritual philosophy, you're beginning to explore energy, soul can sometimes be a really tangible thing that we don't really tap into. And okay, maybe we understand it as intuition. And I don't believe soul is intuition. I believe intuition is the voice of soul. Okay, so they're connected, but I am not just my voice. I'm a whole energy, whole being. So when we look at soul, soul isn't just intuition. Intuition is the voice of soul, but soul is so much more than just how it translates its communication, its voice, its energy in a way that we can understand it. And one of the things that sometimes what happens when we start to work with energy is that we go very up here and we don't bring it down, we don't embody it into this experience. And as human beings, we are here to live life, and we're here to live life fully. We're here to live it freely. We're here to live it expansively. We're here to live it with all of our being, no holds barred. I mean, really, that's what we're here for. And yet, it's really easy to get caught up in the energy of energy and have energy as something that is really high vibrational that we tap into, when we're in a meditative state or, when we're holding a crystal, but we don't actually always live it within life. And we are in incredible times, and if you're in any way energetically connected, you'll know that we're living in some of the most incredible times that we will ever encounter, and I think that's incredibly beautiful. But we have to make these moments count. And for me, it's really about making soul accessible. So we work with it, we understand it, not just in an energetic way, but in a way that we live within life, and we bring it into the everyday experience so that it is as normal as, drinking your cup of tea. It is as normal as brushing your hair or putting on your makeup or taking a bath. It is part of who we are, and we understand it in a really grounded, logical way. So some of the things that I want to really look at as we move into season 2 is, how do we change the narrative? How do we make energy more grounded? How do we live it in the here and now? How do we marry this, I guess, practical, material existence with that absolute energy that is here to be embodied through who we are, and which requires us to be fully embodied within all of our experience of being, which is here grounded in life, but also in that energetic context as well. So there'll be some different movements forward as the episodes progress, and I'm really looking forward to opening the conversation and opening a place for discussions and opening a place for differing opinions, because we all have our own experiences, and for some of us, our lived experience informs where we are now, it informs our knowledge. For some people, their experience has been informed through what they've read, through work that other people have shared and other people have done. And there is no opinion that is right, and there's no opinion that's wrong. There's no truth that's right. We all have our own truth in this moment. So being in a place, being in a forum, being in an environment where we can have a discussion about my thoughts and my perspective, someone else's perspective, perhaps where questions can come in, so that we can look at answering those from different viewpoints, so that we are including all of our experiences to really form a whole picture, but also to really allow ourselves to explore possibilities that perhaps we haven't thought about before. So I am looking forward to a really exciting and a really expansive season 2 of the Being Soul Confident podcast. Most of the sessions will be via video, as well as simply through the podcast platforms. There are a couple of episodes that are launching in season 2 that will purely be podcast. And that is simply because they were recorded back in November time. And so as I was putting the episodes together, I kept the audio, but I didn't keep the visual. So if you see a couple of episodes which are purely from a podcast perspective and you wonder why they're not here as a visual video cast, then that is absolutely why that is. So it's my absolute pleasure to welcome you to season 2, and I would love your participation as well. So if you have a question about soul, if you have a question about how to understand it, how to work with it, if you have a question about actually what it really means, what is it, what's it here for, please feel free to pop them below the video. Please feel free to send me a message, and we will endeavour, as a podcast episodes progress, to actually answer those questions for you. So it just leaves me to welcome you to season 2, to thank you for tuning in and listening, watching to this introductory episode for season 2. And I look forward to sharing a lot more time with you. In the meantime, Take care, have a great few days, and enjoy being self-confident.